It's really not enough to start thinking about death. We need to talk about it. We need to discuss it. We talk about marriage quite openly. Why not death? Not everyone is married, but everyone dies. George Bernard Shaw said death carries with it an interesting statistic. 1 out of 1 people die. It's going to happen. It does not make any sense to not talk about it. We need to have some open discussion about death, like when, where, and how I will die. Do I want family and friends with me when I die? Who does the sanitary disposal of my body when I die? How long do I think I will live? And what will I die from? How will I look in the casket? Or will it even be open? What will I wear? I helped a family arrange a funeral for their mother some years ago, and the daughters got into a huge fight over what color dress their mother would wear in the casket. Unbelievable. There are so many topics of discussion when it comes to death, but the bottom line is we simply do not talk about it. But here's the deal. When you talk about death, you have to talk about life. Why? Because there is no death experience. Dead people do not have experiences. And who doesn't want to talk about life? In fact, I want my funeral and maybe my death to represent the way I lived. You don't get the picture? You're having a hard time understanding this? Let me illustrate. Now listen to this. Some years ago, I spoke at the University of North Carolina's medical school. It's interesting that only a few medical students attended, but over 200 mortuary science people came, funeral directors. My wife Nancy was with me. After I spoke, the medical doctor asked me if I would like to see the school and the refrigerator room. My wife quickly answered yes, especially the refrigerator room, thinking kitchen, thinking cooking. She must have thought it was something to do with being a woman and being in the kitchen. After touring the first 2 floors, we came up to the elevator to the 3rd floor, the refrigerator floor. The smell of formaldehyde was so strong it burned our noses. When we got off the elevator, we stood in front of the huge door with the biggest padlock I have ever seen. Still, my wife did not get it. She had no idea. As the medical doctor unlocked the door, my wife walked in. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Over 100 bodies in clear body bags hanging from a hook through their ears on a steel line that looked like the movie Coma. The school no longer stores the donated bodies in this manner, thank God. They now have drawers. But my wife stumbled out and quickly I followed. However, we were there long enough to see the first man very clearly. He was about 50 years old with a lot of hair, tan skin, and a smile on his face. He was there to help science, and he looked like he wanted to be there, quite happy. When we got into the elevator, my wife was the first to speak. What she said was very profound. I quote, "I guess I just saw over 100 life stories. I wish I could hear them." That's it. That is exactly why we talk about death. Death creates a limit to our living and therefore makes every life story relevant, exciting, and meaningful, whether good or bad. So let's get busy and start thinking about death, but more importantly, let's start talking, discussing, talking about death.